in Juárez have been infected with COVID-19.
ABC7's Mauricio Garcia spent days reporting south of the border to see the unique challenges our sister city faces as it grapples with the pandemic.
It's an extra perspective you'll see only on ABC7.
The thing about coronavirus is that it doesn't need a passport to get from country to country. It really has no regard for borders. It's here in our region, back there in El Paso, and in Juárez. But the outcome for patients here can be drastically different. A sign of the times.
Cambié cuando entró la pandemia porque por los churros ya no dejaron vender por la...
Once the pandemic hit, Aurelio Garcia tells me he had to stop selling churros and adapt. He makes a living selling face masks here at the Paso del Norte Bridge. ¿Cuál es la más popular? The most popular, he tells me,
Esta, la de cowboy.
The cowboy's mask. At 50 pesos, or a little more than $2. They're cheaper than in El Paso, he says. Aurelio's been a street vendor for decades. It's a job that can sometimes be grueling, but these past months have been the hardest.
Claro que sí da miedo porque está canijo, eh?
He says it's scary to constantly be in contact with people, but this is what he must do to make ends meet. There are so many people like Aurelio in Juárez, those who don't have the luxury of working from home. People I spoke with worry they could end up in a hospital, like this one.
El temor de este virus.
The fear for Germán Moreno, a security guard, is that he could bring the virus back home and infect his family. When you look at Juárez's coronavirus data, some of the numbers are astonishing. Close to 12% of those who have tested positive have died. In El Paso, it's close to 2%.
Hay miedo en muchos de nosotros.
I spoke to Dr. Hernandez, who asked that I not release his full name and hide his identity for fear of losing his job. He's a doctor treating COVID patients at one of the many public hospitals in Juárez.
Por cada prueba de que tú haces de coronavirus,
He explains to me that he thinks that for every person who tests positive in Juárez, there are likely 10 to 30 more people who are infected. Testing delays have plagued the city, and that's led to those with only severe symptoms getting screened.
Doctor, ¿qué es lo más frustrante a la hora de tratar a pacientes?
I ask him about the most frustrating part in the battle against the pandemic.
saber de que probablemente ese paciente no vaya a mejorar a pesar
Knowing that some patients won't get better, no matter how you treat them, he says. Plus, he says the hospital he works at faces a severe shortage of equipment and medicine. As a father of two, his biggest fear is losing his family. It's something he sees all too often at the hospital.
fallece esa persona y la familia no pudo despedirse de ella.
People die, he says, with families unable to say goodbye.
Mi esposa tenía 53 años.
It's a pain that shattered Gabriel Cardona and his family. His wife, Patti, died of COVID-19 after a 15-day battle in the hospital.
Ya no soportó su cuerpo.
Gabriel is a news photographer. He believes he contracted COVID-19 in April and then spread it to his wife. He had a fever and body aches for a few days, but he was able to recover. Pati's symptoms worsened, and she was hospitalized.
Primero le aplicaron oxígeno, medicamentos.
First, they gave her oxygen and medication, Gabriel says, but things escalated, and then she was put on a ventilator.
Un respirador.
Even then, Gabriel held out hope that she would recover. But on May 15th, he received a call from the doctors. His wife, Patti, was gone.
Fue algo muy fuerte para mí en lo particular como su esposo, para mis hijos.
Gabriel describes it as an overwhelming feeling, and to this day, loved ones are still in shock.
En shock.
They were married for 28 years, had 3 kids, 3 grandchildren. They still had more memories to make.
Lo más que extraño, pues obviamente son su sonrisa, el que te voltea a ver a los ojos, ¿verdad? Ella tenía un brillo en los ojos.
Pati's smile is what he misses most, and getting to look deep into her bright eyes.
Me enojo bastante cuando veo que la gente no se cuida.
He says he gets angry when he sees people not taking care of themselves. Gabriel currently lives with his youngest son at home. For the sake of his son, he says he needs to be strong, no matter how hard life gets.
No tiene fronteras.
The virus doesn't have borders, he says,
con precaución.
but life goes on, and we need to keep on living with caution. Mauricio Casillas, ABC 7.